الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are blessed and honored to see all of you here again for the second part of our program, Timeless Teachings, the Sirah Conference, a whole weekend dedicated towards learning the Sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the different roles and the different responsibilities that he had, the different qualities that we can inculcate within our lives, and so many different bayans, inshallah, that are going to take place today, as well as nasheed in praise of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So we would ask that, inshallah, the program is going to begin after the Sunnah, and we will ask that before the program begins, we all take the time out to maybe contact a few of our friends and family and let them know about the program, as well as make dua, as well as engage in salawat. And we'll begin shortly, inshallah. Jazakullahu Khairun. Bismillah. Inshallah, those brothers who are finished with their sunnah, can we please come closer? Inshallah, there's going to be many people coming today, so we want to sit in the front and leave space for them in the back. So if everyone can make an effort to sit as close as possible, inshallah, brothers and sisters. We will begin shortly, inshallah. All those in the lobby are requested to please come inside, inshallah. We will begin with the recitation of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. That when the Quran is recited, then listen attentively and remain silent so that you may be shown mercy. So let us take the full benefit of the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and let it penetrate into our hearts and change our lives. Inshallah, we will begin with the Quran recitation by one of our students in the Dar Islam Seminary. His name is Hafiz Awsaf Muhyiddin. He's currently in the 3rd year of the 7-year Takmil program. Hafiz Awsaf, inshallah. Jazakullahu Khairun.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى وما ينطق عن الهوى إن هو إلا وحي يوحى. علمه شديد القوى ذو مرة فاستوى وهو بالأفق الأعلى ثم دنا فتدلى فكان قاب قوسين أو أدنى فأوحى إلى عبده ما أوحى ما كذب الفؤاد ما رأى أفتمارونه على ما يرى ولقد رآه نزلة أخرى عند سدرة المنتهى عندها جنة المأوى إذ يغشى السدرة ما يغشى ما زاغ البصر وما طغى لقد رأى من آيات ربه الكبرى أفرأيتم اللات والعزى ومناة الثالثة الأخرى ألكم الذكر وله الأنثى تلك إذا قسمة ضيزى إن هي إلا أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان إن يتبعون إلا الظن وما تهوى الأنفس ولقد جاءهم من ربهم الهدى أم للإنسان ما تمنى فلله الآخرة والأولى صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakullahu Khairun, Hafiz Awsaf, for the beautiful recitation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you, accept you, bless you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow the words to enter our hearts and to bring a change within ourselves. Before we begin, inshallah, a few announcements. As you know, social media, we try to keep the word, spread the word on social media. So if you have Facebook, Twitter, anything, try to spread the word about the program. And then there's a food stall outside, so in between the bayans, if you get tired, you need to take a snack. There's many different snacks outside available, as well as the book stall. There's a different array of beautiful books. One that's very special is Sirah al-Mustafa by Imam Maulana Idris Khan Delwi. And I remember in our first year when we were studying Sirah, our teacher, he used to take a lot of notes from that book. So it's very detailed, it's very comprehensive about the Sirah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Inshallah, our first topic of the day is dress for success, impeccable hygiene and appearance. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "At-tahuru shatrul iman," that cleanliness is a branch of faith, is half of faith, of iman. And the da'wah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam was not only through his words and through his actions, but it was also through his appearance, how he conducted himself, how he held himself. So let us learn the prophetic standard of keeping ourselves presentable and clean. And our speaker will be Sheikh Akif. And Sheikh Akif was born in Montreal, Canada. He graduated from a 6-year program at Madrasa Khusrufiyya in Aleppo, Syria. Thereafter, he earned his bachelor's degree in Islamic Studies from the University of Damascus, where he continued to study master-level courses in theological and religious studies. Sheikh Akif then went on to study various subjects, including tafsir, fiqh, nahu, and usul under various scholars in Aleppo. Upon returning to North America, Sheikh Akif began teaching Arabic and Islamic studies at various institutions. He currently serves as an Arabic instructor at Dar es Salaam Seminary, and we're blessed to have him as our teacher for balagha and poetry and different Arabic sciences. And mashallah, he's always passionate, he's always energized, and his energy is contagious. So, it's a great way to start off the day, speaking about Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and being energized by Sheikh Akif. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to take benefit. And please listen carefully. Sheikh Akif, please come to the podium. Jazakullahu Khairun.
It's not working. Now it's working. Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Barakallahu feekum. May Allah bless everyone who came. Is there water, Matt? I want to start on a good note, with some water. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Shukran. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وفقها في الدين. آمين. So, as we all know, life, including shopping, is moving more from the actual experience where you go around buying things to just buying online, right? And maybe in 10 years from now, hardly anyone will go to a physical store to buy stuff, unless maybe it's food or things you need really quick. But more and more people are buying things online, right? And with things sold online, the only thing you have to see is the picture. Yes or no? Oh yeah, you see the picture. And then you kind of evaluate and imagine and guess what you're going to be getting based on what? Based on the pictures. So the pictures better be good if the seller wants to sell you something, right? And Allahu Alam, it might turn out to be as good as the picture and might turn out not to be so. But anyways, a good picture is going to make you buy or make you want to buy. You see, us human beings, we have a problem. What is that problem? Or I can call deficiency. We tend to judge things by what they look like on the outside. We tend to judge things by what they look. Now, is that always true? No. But we do that. Whether we feel it or not, we judge things by how they look. Yani, for example, if you go to the market and you see the fruits, they look very nice. But you better not taste anything. Because it tastes like water basically. So much chemicals in it, it hardly has any taste. But it looks good. So the looks can be deceiving. However, if the looks are not there, then someone can be missing out on something. Yani, maybe you're a really good person, but maybe your looks does not indicate that. So that means someone needs to know you really closely to be able to appreciate you. But that means you're going to have to do some homework. And no one wants to do the homework. As students, do you want extra homework, Say Jama'ah? No, thank you. No extra homeworks. So for us, as Muslims, we need to show who we are on the outside without making people do the homework. Because if they're going to do this, khalas, sorry. Because people, it's just easier to make a judgment, to make a previous judgment. So that's why it is so important for you to do da'wah first the way you look before you say anything, or even before anyone gets to know you. And that's why it is part of our deen to look nice, to look neat, to look clean. You know, it's a misconception. They say, Ya akhi, izhad fi dunya. You need to have zuhd in the dunya, and you need to, turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and, kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharibun aw abiru sabil. Fahimtum? Yani, just be like a traveler in the dunya. Okay, we didn't say no, but you don't have to look like garbage being a traveler. And plus, the real zuhud is in the heart. Because some people, they're wearing raggedy clothes, but their heart is filled with dunya. Oh yeah? Yeah, I've seen these examples. And you have sometimes the other way around. Someone look nice, you know what I mean? And their heart is filled with the akhirah. So this is not a way to judge things. So anyways, it is important for the Muslim to look nice, to look neat, to look clean. Now, you don't have to wear the expensive clothes, but at least clean and neat. See, not everyone can afford the most expensive stuff, but everyone can afford clean and neat. So let's talk first about the cleanliness in Muslims' appearance. First of all, the face. You see, the Sahaba who knew the Prophet ﷺ described him. He was asked, one of the Sahaba was asked, was the Prophet's face ﷺ like a blade of the sword? Yani, what does that mean? It means it's very clean and lustrous. He said, no, it was like the moon, even better. So the Prophet ﷺ, kept his face clean and looked nice, looked presentable. Because, he's a prophet. You're sitting with people, you're addressing people, you have to be presentable. And same thing, each Muslim, you're representing your faith. So you should be presentable. You should stand out in a good way. Some Muslims, they stand out, but in a bad way. No, stand out in a good way. And there's a hadith where the Prophet ﷺ tells a group of Sahaba, like basically dress nicely and be like a shama, yani like a mole. Yani be distinct. Stand out in a good way you're dressed. So again, that's the face. Then, as we know in wudu and in ghusl, what do we do? What do we clean here? The nose, So same thing. Yeah, we have a reason in the ghusl and in the wudu, which we do every day, the wudu, to clean our nose. Because it's not nice, as you know, to have someone with something in their nose. But you see, Islam encourages us to do that. And actually, if we look into the hygiene habits of Islam, it is very high class. It makes you look good. It makes someone become attracted, say, wow, this is amazing. And we've heard of so many stories of people got into Islam and got, interested in Islam because of the cleanliness aspect of Islam. Many people really got that kind of caught their attention. And then after that, the teeth, cleaning the teeth. Now we know the sunnah of what? The siwak, huh? Oh yes. It is, as the Prophet ﷺ said, the meaning of it, it is a purification for the mouth and it's a pleasure to Allah. Now that's a problem, you see, because also many of us will walk around and our teeth are not clean, they're full of food. And actually there's a hadith where it says, the meaning of it of course, as I said, the mafhum, that nothing is more difficult for the angels when someone's standing and doing prayer than having food between their teeth. Allahu Akbar, what is this? You know, because when someone they have food in their teeth and they're smiling and talking, you say, "Akhi, just get it quick. I want to move on." you don't feel like you want to listen to anything. You know, it drives you away. You see? So again, that's part of our deen. That's, you know, Sayyidina Ibn Abbas narrated an incident where the Prophet ﷺ had milk, and then he took water and swooshed it around, you know, and cleaned his teeth. And then he told Sayyidina Ibn Abbas, it has grease. Yani the milk has grease. If it stays on the teeth, it's going to be nasty. That's why you clean. You see, that's part of the deen. And then another thing, you know, keeping the beard neat and trimming the mustache. And then of that, cleaning the fingers and the hands. And of course, definitely clipping the nails. You know, it's in style, you know, for some people to have long nails. I think that's interesting. I don't know if it is. Let's see how interesting it's going to be if they're going to cook your food. Those long nails and putting the hand in the oil. And God knows what these nails have been scratching for the last few hours. Not a very good idea, is it? See? So, that's gross. Although some people find it interesting, well, ajib, you know. As they say, al-junun funun, means there are many types of junun. Craziness, yani. There are many types of... Anyways, so that's the nails. Then there's the entire body. Yani, ya akhi, take ghusl. Ya akhi, take shower before going to a congregation. From here we know the sunnah of ghusl of Eid, ghusl of Jum'ah. You know, before going any place has large group of people, ya akhi, make sure you're clean. Make sure the socks are clean. You see? This is all part of our deen. It's not like, oh, extra sophisticated stuff. No, it is part of the deen. Then after that, the hair. You know, the Prophet ﷺ said, as Sayyidina Ibn Abbas narrated, or Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, I'm not sure at this point. But anyways, the narration is that whoever has a hair, let them honor that hair. Whoever has a hair, let them honor this hair. It means keep up with it. Now, if someone doesn't have hair, that's one thing that, you know, it saves you some time right there. And automatically you're good, inshallah. So anyways, and they say, you know, one benefit of not having hair, you don't have to buy a comb. That's what they said. You know, you'll save money on the comb. Anyways, so also the Prophet ﷺ, there's a narration where a man comes in the masjid and their hair's in a mess all over the place. So then the Prophet ﷺ, and his beard was also all over. So he gave him like ishara with his hand, like, go take care of it. Like, somehow he got the message. So he went and kind of, you know, combed his hair, fixed his looks, and came back in. And then the Prophet ﷺ commented and said, the meaning, isn't this better than someone coming in having scrambled hair like a shaitan? That's strong. That's a strong statement, you see? So again, so there are many narrations that have similar idea about the Prophet ﷺ encouraging people to, you know, to comb. And the Prophet ﷺ used to comb his hair, sometimes, you know, part it, sometimes let it down. So again, that's also an important thing that, again, it gives a good image of a Muslim. You know, just like once I knew some person who kind of started attending in the masjid. You know what I mean? He's attending the khutbahs. He's not a Muslim, but he wants to know about Islam. And he's coming in the khutbah. You know, he told me something interesting. He said, man, there's something, you know, I really like the khutbahs and all of that, but there's one thing I'm not getting. I said, what? He said, why are all of those people in the masjid looking so sad? He said, everyone looks depressed. What's going on? I said, I don't know. You know what I mean? So again, the image. If someone sees the Muslim looking neat, you know, if they see the Muslim, you know, cheering up, you know, do it for the sake of Allah, ya akhi. Smile for the sake of Allah. You know, they say, oh man, that's cool to be a Muslim. Other each one depressed. Oh my God, what is that? That's difficult. You know what I mean? So your image says a lot about who you are and how you live your life. You see? Again, it's not the full reality, but again, as you know, they have some expression, they say in Syria, people's deen is in their eyes. You know what that means? Yeah, people's deen is in their eyes. It means if they see a sheikh with big beard and big imamah and fancy thawb, they say, هذا مفتي الزمان. هذا علامة الدنيا. You know what I mean? Allah Akbar. He might not know even one word, but khalas, big, fancy look, big body, you know, tall. Ya Latif. That guy must have memorized the Kutub al-Tisa of Hadith, and you know what I mean? And then if they see someone who's not like that, say, I don't know. I'm not sure about that guy. You see what I mean? Anyways, you know, similar story happened to Imam Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah. He was basically sitting in the masjid and having a halqa of fiqh. Okay? He's teaching. And in this halqa of fiqh, he was talking about the Fajr prayer and how Fajr prayer, while you're praying Fajr, the sun rises, then your prayer becomes nullified. Yeah. So you need to make sure to finish Fajr prayer before the sun rises. So while he was talking about that, a man entered the masjid with fancy looking imam, beard, ahwal, very fancy stuff. So Imam Abu Hanifa, he had his legs, you know, stretched out in the majlis. You know, maybe his knees will hurt, whatever. So when he saw that person, he really, you know, felt embarrassed. He wanted to show respect to that person. So he kind of, you know, pulled back his legs and sat, you know, without stretching his legs out. So that's the face value. That guy looks fancy. But then that guy says, so Abu Hanifa is saying, if the sun rises, then the salah is going to be nullified. So that man said, what if the sun doesn't rise? Or what if the sun did not rise? So then Abu Hanifa, he said, it's time for Abu Hanifa to put his legs back. means these looks are deceiving. Forget about it, man. Just get back how you were. Let's continue, move on with our business. You see what I mean? So again, looks can be deceiving either way, in a good way or in a bad way. So again, back to our, so we said, you know, the istihmam, the taking a shower, you know, before going to a public place, Again, another thing, like for example, you know, food like garlic, onions, something that has smell, some strong odors, you know, someone should avoid these things when they're coming to the masjid. You know? And by the way, not only to the masjid, any place someone is going to where there's congregation, someone should, and trust me, people will respect you, wallah. You know, and then putting perfume on, putting utr. See? And the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam, he was very famous for his perfume. You know, one of the Sahaba said, I have not smelt a musk. You know, musk is a type of natural fragrance that comes from the deers. It's called musk deers, type of deer. I haven't smelt a musk or ambergris. It's a type of fragrance that comes from whales. that is better smelling than the Prophet smelled, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. See? So he had fragrance. And he actually said that he liked fragrance. Fragrance were one of the things he liked about the dunya. So again, that's a very important thing. Then we move on to the way someone dresses. So we talked about the cleanliness of the body, cleanliness of the clothes. Again, doesn't have to be fancy, but neat. Neat and clean. And then we move on to beautification of that. You see, the Prophet ﷺ used to dress nicely when he gets guests. You know, people come out of Medina, he would dress nicely for those delegations. And then it was known that Imam Malik ibn Anas, rahimahullah, you know, the alim of Medina, also he used to wear very nice clothes in the majlis of hadith. Because it's giving good image of respect for the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, and his majlis was very fancy majlis. You know, people are dressed nicely, and he's dressed nicely, and he puts very high quality perfume. You know, because that's again he's showing his image and the way he respects the Prophet's hadith sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So again, it was the habit of the Prophet ﷺ to dress nicely, the tabi'een, the ulama, the fuqaha, all of those people. And as we know, what did Allah say? Ya bani Adama, khudhu zinatakum inda kulli masjid. O sons of Adam, dress nicely when you go to pray. See, same thing. You know, that's a problem. How are you coming to the masjid, ya akhi? You're coming in pajamas? Coming like Allahu Alam, you're gardening, and then from gardening with the pajamas, with the dirt to the masjid, or from whatever, from the kitchen to the masjid. Yani, that's not nice. You know what I mean? Someone again has to be considerate of people around them. And that's part of our deen. To be considerate of people. And that's why we have all of these ideas. Don't eat onion, come to the masjid. Don't take ghusl before you come to the masjid. So again, that's the clothing. That's the clothing. Then there is the cleanliness of the clothes. We talked about cleanliness of the body. Then the cleanliness of the clothes. You know, there was a narration where the Prophet ﷺ saw a man who he came into the masjid, his hair was scrambled and his clothes was dirty. So he said, can't that person find something to settle down their hair with and something to wash their clothes with? Like, is it difficult to find water? Especially now here, khalas. Here, like you throw something in the machine. We're talking about all of this when you have to wash by hand, and you have to dry it in the sun, and you have to get to wait, and maybe you don't have except one thawb. No. Now you go walk in closet. Like it's a whole house inside, it's like 50 thawbs, 50. So now it's so easy, and still we have problems with that. And then you throw in the wash machine. Khalas. You're doing something else, it's washing. Then you take it, dryer, khalas. You know, it's so easy now. So now even you have less excuse. Someone has less excuse to come in a problematic way to the masjid. Or to any congregations for that matter. And second thing, you know, that the clothes a Muslim wear should be covering the awrah. Not be tight. You'll be surprised. Sometimes you'll be praying in the masjid, and some guy's wearing, you know, the shirt is not that long, it's not tucked in. And then they go into ruku and say, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You don't want to see anything, you know what I mean? And then sujood, khalas. Khalas, it's done. You're seeing it, Allah. How could you do salah? How can you focus? Yeah, that's a problem, you know. Yeah, you're going to wear long going over the, you know, the bottom area where it's going to cover, where you do sujood and you're good. So that's one thing, you know, covering the awrah. Another thing, you know, what is the clothes symbolizing? You know, sometimes things written on shirts or clothes, you know, like I'm a savage. What? That's like written on the shirt, I'm a savage. Or, you know, something like that. Or sometimes even worse, or sometimes it's symbols that, you know, have ahwal, as they say. You know what I mean? So someone needs to know what they're wearing, and you might be representing certain group of people the way you dress. So you have to be careful for that as well. Now, again, back to the idea that, is all of this like israf, you know, dressing nicely, all of that? Is this israf? Is this wrong? You know, one time, there's a hadith that clarifies that. One time, the Prophet ﷺ was telling the Sahaba, talking about pride. What do we call pride in Arabic? Ya Jama'ah? Kibr. Barakallahu. So he's saying, the Prophet ﷺ was saying, no one will enter the Jannah if they have a speck of kibr in their hearts. Yani, a speck of pride. And then there's a narration where he says, and no one will enter the hell, yani forever, of course, who have a speck of iman in their heart. Then one of the Sahaba was listening to this, and he said, Ya Rasulullah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but we all like to have a nice thawb and a nice shoes. Is that pride? And you know what he answered him? He said, Allah is beautiful and loves beauty. So that's good. But kibr is like where you think you're better than other people and where you take people's haqq away from them. And you take people's haqq away from them. Now the question is, can this become too much? Can like really focusing on dressing and clothes go to the extreme? Yes, it can. That's why this is something very, if someone asks you, can you summarize what Islam is? You wanted to give you a fast answer? You can give it like quickly. What is Islam? Islam is a moderation between a bunch of extremes. You see, true Islam is moderation between a lot of extremes and all types of things. So someone can go on the extreme with that as well. So someone has to, as you know, the Prophet ﷺ, he has one hadith, he says, تعس عبد الدرهم. يعني, may the slave of money become miserable. And then what he says, تعس عبد الخميصة. Khamisa is like a nice dress. So whoever is going to become a slave to that dress, then may they be miserable as well. You know, I'll tell you a story about how, you know, because final point I want to say that you can't judge people by the way they're dressed. Right? So I'll tell you a story about that. Two actually. And we'll end with that inshallah. So first story is that unfortunately, some people are just judged by the way they're dressed. Again, that's extreme. We're talking about extreme, that's extreme. So it is said that there's some guy called Juha. This guy, Juha, there's a lot of funny stories about him. You know, he was a very interesting person. He really loves free food. He likes to go to free invitation, you know, without being invited. So this guy basically, this story happened a long time ago. He rode on his donkey because he cannot afford a horse, duh. Donkey, that was like what? The Hyundai of that time, maybe? Like those very simple cars. So he rode on the donkey and he went to that, it's a big invitation, very important people are coming. And then when he approached the door, they said, "Hey, what are you doing here? Who are you looking for?" And he said, "I'm trying to get in." They said, "No, no, no, you can't get in. Sorry, man, sorry. You're not invited." Okay. So he went back home, and he had a very, very fancy jubba. You know what a jubba is? Like that garment, very nice dress, all embroidery, and it looks royal. So he wore this. He didn't do anything else. He just changed his clothes. He went, took the old clothes, and he wore the jubba. And when he wore the jubba, he came again riding. He didn't bring the donkey clothes. He left it far away, and he just walked in. And the same guard saw him and said, "Ahlan wa sahlan, Sayyidi, my sir, my, Faddal, please come in." And then he accompanied him all the way, and he said, "You need to sit there inside, where the important people sit in the middle." "Oh, thank you, barakallahu feek. I'm so sorry if our khidmah is not good enough to your highness." He said, "It's fine, I'm all right." So he sat there, and then they started getting the food. They started bringing in the food, after people talking. So when they brought in the food, one of those food was like a sauce. Sauce with some meat in it. So basically what he did, when people started eating, he took off his jubba, or no, he took this, the side, the lower part of the jubba, and he started dunking it in the sauce. And people looked at him and said, "What are you doing, sir? You're dunking your jubba in the sauce?" Well, he said, "You know what? My jubba is more worthy of eating." Because it's the one who got me in here. So it's the one that should be eating, not me. Did you see that? And that's the reality. People will judge you. A lot of people will judge you by like if you go to a job interview, they'll look at you, I don't know about that guy. Right away make a judgment. Again, that's not fair. Now, it could work the other way around. I'll tell you a story and we'll end with this, inshallah. There was one of the ulama in the eastern hemisphere of the Muslim world called Abu Dawood al-Zahiri, something like that. His name is pretty close to that. So anyways, he was a big-time alim, big time. So this big-time alim had like 50 scholars attending his class, or maybe 200. Forget about the students. He had like big imamas attending his class. So one day, he was giving a dars, and he was shining. Shining? He was shining. Allah gave him fatah. Fatah, huh? Allah's like giving him, opening for him the doors of ilm, and he was saying the ajaib stuff. So everyone was so amazed and mesmerized by that lecture. And after the lecture, they came, MashaAllah, Jazakullahu Khairun, Maulana, that's so beautiful. We enjoyed it, it's amazing. And kind of, all of those people saying all these good things, it makes someone, shaitan gets into someone, say, "Oh yeah, I told you you're good." See? Yeah, it's waiting for that opportunity. So then, one of those people who gives salam to him is a man wearing raggedy clothes. Like his clothes is very old, very raggedy. So he told this big alim, he told him, "Good job. Ask me about whatever you want." And people are looking, how dare you say that to our sheikh? You don't have adab. You're saying, ask me about what you want, as if he's now going to become your student. People were like shocked. So that alim looked at him, the way he was dressed in such a raggedy way. He said, "You look like a hajjam." Hajjam is the person who does hijama. You know what a hijama is, huh? Is that thing where you get a cup, suction cup, put it in the skin, suck the skin for some time, then release, then put small incisions, put it back in, it sucks the bad blood. You know this, hijama. So he said, you look like a hajjam. You look like a person who does hijama. Now hajjam, the people who did hijama a long time ago, were considered some of the lowest class in society in terms of jobs. It's a very lowly job. So he said, you look like a hajjam, raggedy person, very poor, very, insignificant job. So tell us something about hijama. Let's see. So that guy sat down and said, Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. And he went off. He took off like an airplane. First, he started, because he didn't know what he's going to ask him. He just randomly said, oh, you look like a hijama. Tell us about hijama. First, he started talking about the history of hijama since the beginning of humanity and which nations do it and which times of the year it's done and which parts of the body you do it and how it's done and the benefits of it. Then he brought all of the ahadith that the Prophet ﷺ said about hijama. He brought it with the chain of narration. And he mentioned each person in the chain of narration, whoever is problematic, he talked about. Then he talked about all of the fiqh. Does hijama break the fasting? Does it break this? Does it... And he went on, and he said things that no one ever imagined this person would say. He gave them ilm scholars don't know. So when he was done, people were stunned. We thought this guy's like just, running around doing hijama, and turns out this guy's a big alim himself. So then this imam, this sheikh, felt so humbled by the ilm of this man that he came down to him and started crying and said, I want to kiss your feet. Please forgive me. He said, it's fine, no problem. I just saw that your nafs became little inflated. Because everyone's saying, good job, good job. So I wanted to teach you little tawadu', little humbleness, So again, you never know. So that's another lesson that we learn in Islam. First we learn, you dress nicely. And you dress clean. Because usually, people are influenced by what they see of you. It takes a lot of time and knowing you to get to know you. But also, it's part of Islamic etiquette not to judge without knowing. Do you see that? So on one end, people do it. People judge based on face value. But that's not right. That's not right. You need to know who the person is before you can judge. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to work on the tahara of the thawb and the badan, the body, and the ruh. Because it's a whole set. You see, we talked about the cleanliness of the body and the dressing and the clothing, but there's still the cleanliness of the ruh, of the soul. And if the soul is dirty, then the cleanliness of clothes is not doing you much. You see? So both of them are important. And both of them need to be maintained. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين بارك الله فيكم إن شاء الله وإياكم. I donated 3 minutes. Because he told me 5 minutes left, so I told him خلاص. خذ 3 هدية إن شاء الله.
Jazakullahu Khair, Sheikh Akif, for the practical advice. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you, bless you, accept you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to align our appearance and demeanor with what Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam kept as his standard. And from Sheikh Akif's talk, we see how our appearance precedes our words.